to be honest with you, at that time, before we got woke, we played George Jefferson, moving on up to the east side.
Yes.
And here's the funny thing about it, or ironic thing, not funny, is that every black person in America knows what a project is. Our house was only a block away from the project, which is a really internment camp, if you ask me. But we were moving on up.
We're prisoners of war.
Yeah.
All black people in the systems of white supremacy are prisoners of war.
Prisoners of war, yes, sir.
If anybody asks a black person, are you a veteran? Your answer is yes. That's males and females of all ages and whatnot. 70 years old, 10 years old. I'm a veteran. You a veteran? You're 10 years old. You a veteran? Yes, sir. You asked me a question. I told you the truth. I'm a veteran. A veteran of what? A veteran of war. I'm a war veteran. What war? The war between those who believe in racism and those who don't. You're not lying. You're telling the truth. And you can apply for veterans benefits because you definitely have earned them.
No question about that. Powerful. Let's see again, before we move on, Gary wanted to know that he saw a story about an unarmed black father and his daughter protecting anti-Rittenhouse / Black Lives Movement protesters in Kenosha. What do you think about that? Does that same logic apply with that apology for being that way?
Yeah. I apologize for not replacing the system of white supremacy. See, I put that on me. See, that's all about not replacing the system of white supremacy with the system of justice. Why? Everything I heard about that Rittenhouse thing, when you saw it all through it, first of all, why were the people there in the first place? See, that's what I mean by questions and answers.
Yes, sir.
Why was everybody there? Why was everybody who was there, why were they there? Well, Mr. Rittenhouse said he came to protect somebody that he knew. Why was he protecting somebody? And who was the somebody he was protecting? And protecting from what? And if you answer those questions, somebody said the whole thing started with an argument or something about race. Now, I didn't look into it that far.
Yes, sir.
But I think if people ask enough questions, was race involved in any part of what all of those people were doing at that demonstration? Directly or indirectly, yes or no? That's the question.
Okay. That's the question. All right.
Directly or indirectly. Was it something that happened 6 months ago that brought all those people together and whatnot? And did that something that happened 6 months ago have anything to do with race? Directly or indirectly? That's the question.
That's the question.
Because the people wouldn't even be there. Mr. Rittenhouse wouldn't have been there. And the people that he killed wouldn't have been there if it hadn't been for a what? Race problem. Either directly or indirectly.
Yes,
sir. Lots of things happened just out of George Floyd. That's how a lot of stuff got started.
Yes, sir.
And that was racial.
Mm-hmm.
That was a racial, what they call a racial incident. Okay? And from that, you got a year long of all kinds of stuff, demonstrations. Something comes up called Black Lives Matter. Somebody say, Black Lives Matter, where all that come from? Well, it came from something that had something to do with race. Something like what? And you track it all down and say, well, hey, somebody named George Floyd. I mean, I don't know the details, but, he was black and the other person was white. And it was some type of disagreement about something or another. Disagreement about what? Well, he didn't have no money for something. How come he didn't have no money? Well, he didn't have no job. How come he didn't have a job? See what I mean? That's where it all leads. That's what I meant by questions and answers. How come Mr. George Floyd did not have a job?
Yeah, I think he had a fake $20 bill or something like that.
They had a $20 bill, and what you get is white people and black people all out in the streets in every city some cars being turned over, some buildings being burned, a police station being burned up, I understand. And what we're talking about is $20. All of this hell raised all over the world, really. And they said, what was it about? $20.
Allegedly.
Well, how come the guy didn't have $20? Or trying to pass off a fake $20 bill when he could have had a real one?
Yeah, allegedly, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, even if he, if it's true, how come he didn't have $20? That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
This is 2021, 2020? When did it happen? I've forgotten. When was that? 2020 or 2021?
No, it wasn't 2020. I think it was 2020.
Okay.
So much has happened. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
All of this mess finally culminating in something called Rittenhouse trial and whatnot. And all about what? Some black guy named George Floyd who got, mental problems and whatnot, which is understandable. We all have those, okay? And about $20 that he didn't have or tried to pass off or had $20 that was fake, but it's about $20. And he didn't have it. He didn't have, somebody said he didn't have it, didn't have the real $20. How come he didn't have $20? Mr. George Floyd should have had $20. That's what I'm saying, in the year 2020. I mean, everybody has $20 in the Northwestern Hemisphere, I guess. How come he didn't have it? When somebody standing next to him had hundreds of dollars on a credit card or something. See, it's something out of order here. Way out of order. See, but that would be the first question. In the Rittenhouse case, how come George Floyd didn't have $20 to buy some tobacco or whatever it is he's trying to buy?
Mm-hmm.
How come he didn't have $20?
Yes, sir. All righty. You are listening to the Counter Racist Code Show with Mr. Neely Fuller. A question was asked, how come George Floyd didn't have $20?
Yeah, hey, you can walk around with signs. I mean, how come George Floyd didn't have $20? Okay? And go back to the whole history of the slave ships.
There you go. And to get in contact with the show, just simply dial this number, 516-453-9921. Press the number 1 button if you have a question or a comment. Please make it brief. You can also Gmail me at the numero 7, Mr. Bobby, B-O-B.